Get ready for a spine-tingling journey through the best Halloween movies ranked. The ultimate Halloween movie guide, a chilling adventure. Halloween is more than just a holiday. It's an atmospheric celebration of all things supernatural and sinister. And what better way to embrace the spirit of this eerie season than with a binge-worthy lineup of horror movies? From the changing foliage to the chilling air, these films capture the essence of Halloween like no other. But here's where it gets controversial. Not all horror movies make the cut for this list. We're leaving out science fiction horrors and those set in wintry or summery settings. Instead, we're focusing on the movies that truly embrace the seasonal aspects of Halloween, creating an immersive experience that will leave you wanting more. So, without further ado, let's dive into the top picks for Halloween movie nights ranked. Hocus Pocus, a nostalgic journey, starting off with a family-friendly classic. Hocus Pocus, 1993, is a beloved film starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy as the mischievous Sanderson sisters. After being hanged during the Salem witch trials, these evil sisters are resurrected, and their quest for immortality leads them to target a young boy and his sister. With the help of a cursed cat, the kids must outwit the witches. What makes Hocus Pocus so appealing, especially for millennials, is the sheer nostalgia factor. The goofy performances by Midler, Parker, and Najimy have stood the test of time, especially during the iconic I Put a Spell on You musical sequence. This comedy-horror blend has earned its place as a Halloween cult classic, offering a gateway into the horror genre for those who prefer a lighter scare. House on Haunted Hill, 1959, a carnival of chills. While the 1999 remake has its fans, the original House on Haunted Hill, 1959, is a true masterpiece. Directed by William Castle, this film embraces the carnival-like atmosphere with jump scares and fourth-wall-breaking moments, years ahead of its time. Vincent Price stars as Frederick Lauren, who invites strangers to spend a night in a haunted house for a large cash reward. As the night unfolds, the guests uncover dark secrets and face betrayal and murder. Price's understated performance as the host adds an air of menace, making this a very different viewing experience from its remake. The 1959 version of House on Haunted Hill is a fun and eerie ride, capturing the essence of a haunted house story with a unique twist. Dracula, 1958, a bite of bloodletting. Hammer Films left its mark on the Dracula mythos with its 1958 adaptation, released as Horror of Dracula in the U.S. This version, based on Bram Stoker's classic tale, stars Christopher Lee as the iconic vampire count. Jonathan Harker, a vampire hunter, sets out to destroy Dracula, but fails, leading the vampire to turn his attention to Harker's loved ones. Christopher Lee's interpretation of Dracula brought a new level of intensity to the character, contrasting with Bela Lugosi's iconic portrayal. The 1958 film leans into graphic bloodletting, offering a more visceral experience than its black-and-white predecessors. Paired with Peter Cushing's menacing Van Helsing, this film sets the bar for vampire movies and is a must-watch for Halloween. Frankenstein, 1931, The Monster's Legacy. 1931 was a landmark year for horror cinema, and Universal Pictures delivered with both Dracula and Frankenstein. Based on Mary Shelley's novel, this film stars Boris Karloff as the iconic Frankenstein's monster. Henry Frankenstein, obsessed with resurrecting the dead, succeeds in creating an imposing monster, but it quickly turns into a terrifying force. Karloff's performance as the monster is legendary, dominating every scene and evoking both terror and sympathy. Colin Clive's wild-eyed intensity as Henry Frankenstein adds to the film's appeal. Frankenstein, 1931, has become the benchmark for all subsequent monster movies, perfectly capturing the Halloween mood. Trick or Treat, a chilling anthology. Trick or Treat, 2007, is a cult classic with a unique twist. This movie features interconnected vignettes set in the fictional town of Warren Valley on Halloween night. From serial killers to werewolves and the movie's mascot Sam, this film delivers autumnal chills with a self-aware wink. with its vignette-style storytelling, Trick or Treat explores different aspects of horror while maintaining its small-town charm. The scares are visceral, but often with a playful nod to the audience, making it a unique and beloved Halloween movie. Evil Dead 2, a bigger, better sequel. Sam Raimi's Evil Dead franchise has produced many gems, but Evil Dead 2, 1987 stands out. Co-written by the late Scott Spiegel, this sequel takes the scares to a grander scale, with Ash Williams, Bruce Campbell, facing malevolent spirits unleashed by the Necronomicon. Ash's survival sets the stage for a new group of hapless victims. Evil Dead 2 is a sequel that truly outshines its predecessor with a more pronounced sense of humor. Bruce Campbell delivers a brilliant performance, balancing clueless goofiness with heroic wisdom. This rare sequel is a must-watch for Halloween, offering a perfect blend of horror and comedy. Young Frankenstein. A legendary comedy, Mel Brooks, the legendary funnyman, brought his unique brand of humor to the horror genre with Young Frankenstein, 1974. This film is both a love letter and a parody of Universal's Frankenstein movies, with Gene Wilder as the titular protagonist. Frederick Frankenstein inherits his family's castle and discovers his grandfather's secret lab, leading him to replicate the infamous experiment. Young Frankenstein feels like a spiritual successor to the classics, with Brooks and Wilder at their comedic best. This horror comedy masterpiece stands as one of the best Mel Brooks movies, showcasing his unique blend of humor and homage. The Conjuring, a haunting franchise. The Conjuring franchise, built around the controversial figures Ed and Lorraine Warren, has become a horror juggernaut. The original 2013 movie introduces the Warrens as they investigate an evil spirit haunting a farmhouse. As they uncover the dark history, the entity possesses one of the residents, leading to a race against time to exorcise the spirit. While the sequels and spin-offs are excellent, the original Conjuring remains the best in its universe. Its well-constructed haunted house story, devoid of major genre frills, relies on atmosphere and a solid cast. The Conjuring launched a multi-billion-dollar franchise, proving that sometimes less is more in the horror space. Dracula, 1931, The Vampire's Legacy. Bela Lugosi's performance as Dracula in the 1931 film set the standard for vampire movies. Lugosi, who had starred in a popular stage adaptation, brought a naturalistic approach to horror acting, which is evident in his iconic role. The movie recreates Stoker's story, with Dracula's journey to London and his determination to turn Mina into his vampire bride. From the beautifully decorated castle to the alluring use of light and shadow, Dracula, 1931, set the template for vampire movies. Lugosi's performance is a standout, and the film's chilling atmosphere makes it a gold standard in vampire cinema. Beetlejuice, a macabre delight. Tim Burton and Michael Keaton's collaboration on Beetlejuice, 1988, is a macabre masterpiece. Keaton plays the titular ghost, summoned by the recently deceased Adam and Barbara Maitland to scare away new residents. However, Beetlejuice's antics get out of hand, leading to an unexpected attachment to Lydia Dietz. Beetlejuice embraces its quirky nature, celebrating the macabre with a unique style. Michael Keaton's performance, though brief, is iconic, and he seamlessly reprises his role in the upcoming sequel. Burton's box office hit defined his career, and Beetlejuice continues to deliver horror-tinged laughs decades later. Scream, 1996, a slasher revival. Wes Craven's Scream, 1996, reinvigorated major studio horror movies in the 90s. This revival of the slasher genre brings a masked killer to the small town of Woodsboro, with high schooler Sidney Prescott suspecting her boyfriend. The movie embraces and subverts tropes, offering a postmodern take on slashers. Scream is chilling and charming, with an iconic opening that is the franchise's most terrifying moment. Craven's masterful direction dials up the suspense and violence, making Scream a defining movie of the genre, celebrating and evoking the legacy of slasher films. Poltergeist, 1982, a Spielbergian haunting. Steven Spielberg and Tobe Hooper's collaboration on Poltergeist, 1982, is a haunted house masterpiece. Inspired by a true story, The movie follows the Freeling family as they experience paranormal activity in their new home. When their young daughter is abducted by spirits, the family must rescue her. Poltergeist feels like a Spielberg project, with its familial themes and production values. The scares are accessible, making it a unique horror experience. The Freeling household feels like a typical 80s suburban home, adding to the menacing supernatural atmosphere. Poltergeist is an 80s horror gem, showcasing Spielberg's unique take on haunted houses. Night of the Living Dead 1968, A Zombie Revolution. George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead 1968 revolutionized zombie movies. Set in rural Pennsylvania, the movie depicts the dead rising to feast on the living, ambushing siblings Barbara and Johnny. The film's ending is famously bleak, and the black and white cinematography adds to its grim atmosphere. Night of the Living Dead is a genre-defining masterpiece, starting as a cheap B-movie before progressing into a nihilistic Last Stand. Its impact on zombie cinema is undeniable, and it remains a must-watch for horror enthusiasts. The Exorcist, a demon-possessed classic. William Friedkin's adaptation of William Peter Blatty's novel The Exorcist, 1973, is a horror masterpiece. The film follows adolescent girl Regan McNeil, possessed by a demonic spirit, and her mother's desperate attempt to save her. Father Damien Karras, the disillusioned priest, is summoned to help, leading to a confrontation with pure evil. While its sequels may have diminished its legacy, The Exorcist is one of the greatest horror movies ever made. The film's escalation of Regan's disturbing behavior is masterful, and Jason Miller's emotionally weary performance adds to its impact. The Exorcist is a cornerstone of modern horror cinema, and its creative vision has left an indelible mark on the genre. Halloween, the ultimate slasher. What better movie to watch on Halloween than the classic slasher that shares its name with the holiday? John Carpenter and Deborah Hill's Halloween, 1978, introduces audiences to the iconic masked killer Michael Myers. After murdering his sister as a child, Myers escapes and returns to his hometown, fixated on stalking and murdering Laurie Strode and her friends on Halloween night. Halloween is a violent coming-of-age movie that exercises restraint before unleashing its terror. Myers' presence is felt throughout, quietly stalking his victims, building tension until his twisted rampage begins. This deliberate pacing pays off in a virtuoso final act, making Carpenter's Halloween a must-watch every October. So there you have it, a ranked list of the best Halloween movies offering a diverse range of horror experiences. From classics to cult favorites, these films will keep you entertained and terrified throughout the Halloween season. Now, it's your turn. Which movie will you choose for your Halloween movie night?